The courtroom was silent, so silent you could hear a pin drop when the judge slammed down the gavel and announced the unthinkable. Boosie, the Baton Rouge legend who's dodged drama for decades, was officially sentenced to 10 years behind bars. Fans are shocked, jaws are on the floor, and social media is on absolute fire. Within minutes, hashtags like #FreeBoosie and #BOOSIE locked up started trending worldwide, while celebrities from Atlanta to Los Angeles began dropping cryptic tweets. But just when you thought this story couldn't get any wilder, Charleston White jumped into the chaos with his trademark grin and a microphone in hand, clowning Boosie like it was a comedy show. "Told y'all that street life catches up," he shouted during a late-night live stream that pulled in over 100,000 viewers in less than an hour, sources say. Boosie's family is furious, his closest friends are divided, and longtime rivals are celebrating in the shadows. Rumors are swirling that there's more to this sentencing than meets the eye. Secret deals, hidden evidence, and betrayals that could shake the entire rap game to its core. Was Boosie set up? Did someone close to him flip? The tension is unreal, and we're just getting started. The cameras were rolling long before the gavel struck. Inside Fulton County's packed courtroom, a crowd of fans, bloggers, and nosy neighbors squeezed into every corner, their phones held high like glowing fireflies. Outside, a restless mob of reporters jostled for position, their mics bristling like spears. Everyone wanted the first word on what they were calling the Boosie bombshell. Boosie himself sat at the defense table in a tailored charcoal suit that somehow still shouted, "Baton Rouge street legend." He adjusted his diamond-encrusted watch with slow, deliberate movements, an attempt to hide the storm raging behind his eyes. Across the aisle, prosecutors whispered and smirked as though they already knew the ending of tonight's episode. The judge cleared her throat, and a hush fell so sudden it made the air feel heavier. "Mr. Torrance Hutch," she began, using Boosie's government name like a weapon, "this court has considered all testimony and evidence in this matter." A woman in the gallery, one of Boosie's longtime supporters, muttered a frantic prayer, "And it is the judgment of this court that you are hereby sentenced to 10 years in state custody." The room erupted. Gasps, screams. Someone dropped a phone that clattered like a gunshot. Boosie's mother, Miss Connie, sprang to her feet. 10 years, she shouted, her voice cracking like thunder. "For what?" The bailiff moved toward her, but Boosie raised a calming hand. "Ma," he said softly, his voice carrying a surprising steadiness. "Let me handle this." Even as the judge banged the gavel for order, the drama only deepened. From the far side of the room, Boosie's cousin Terrence, long rumored to be the family's weakest link, leaned toward a reporter and whispered something that made the journalist's eyebrows shoot sky high. Within seconds, Twitter, or X, as it's now known, was flooded with a brand new hashtag. #CousinTellsAll. Back at the defense table, Boosie clenched his jaw. He knew that look on Terrence's face. Betrayal. And in this imaginary world we're exploring tonight, betrayal cuts deeper than any verdict. Outside the courthouse, chaos ruled. Sirens wailed. Fans chanted "Free Boosie," while others recorded shaky TikToks predicting riots. But the real circus was happening miles away, in a dimly lit studio where Charleston White sat grinning into his webcam like a cat who'd just swallowed a canary. "Ladies and gentlemen," Charleston announced to an audience that had swelled to nearly 100,000 live viewers, "I told y'all, didn't I say it? Street life gone catch up. 10 years, 10, count 'em." He slapped the desk for emphasis, his laughter cutting through the feed like a buzzsaw. Boosie thought he was untouchable. Nah. The law don't play favorites, baby. His co-host, a young blogger named Lexi, tried to play devil's advocate. "But Charleston, this is shocking. Fans are saying the evidence was thin." Charleston interrupted, throwing his head back in mock disbelief. "Girl, the evidence was like grandma's gumbo, thick, spicy, and it stuck to the ribs. Boosie's been dodging karma for years. Tonight, karma said, 'Come here, boy.'" The chat exploded with laughing emojis and fire gifs. Some viewers cheered Charleston's savage commentary, others accused him of but Charleston only leaned closer to the camera, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "And y'all ain't even heard the real tea. Sources tell me somebody close to Boosie gave the DA everything they needed. Somebody he trusted." Back in Baton Rouge, Boosie's childhood friend Dee watched the live stream with growing fury. "Man, this dude Charleston playin' with fire," he muttered, pacing his living room. "He don't know who he messin' with." His girlfriend, Kendra, shook her head. "You think Boosie got time to worry about Charleston right now? He got 10 years to fight." But Dee wasn't convinced. "You don't understand. That live stream ain't just talk. Charleston knows something, or he's about to start a war. Meanwhile, inside a cramped holding room beneath the courthouse, Boosie faced his legal team. His attorney, slick-haired and exhausted, laid a stack of papers on the table. "We're filing an appeal immediately," he said. "But Torrance, we need to know if there's anyone who might have flipped." Boosie's eyes narrowed. "Terrence," he said flatly. The lawyer raised an eyebrow. "Your cousin? That boy been jealous since day one," Boosie replied, his voice low and dangerous. "I seen him whispering to them reporters. He smell like a rat." Miss Connie clutched her son's arm, tears streaking her cheeks. "Don't you let this tear our family apart, baby, not now." But Boosie only shook his head. "Family don't sell you out, Ma. Not for a quick buck." Hours later, as night swallowed the city, fans gathered outside Boosie's Baton Rouge mansion, candles flickering in the humid air. Some prayed. Others argued about whether Charleston White's taunts were crossing the line. A few swore they saw unmarked cars cruising the block, adding fuel to rumors of an even bigger investigation. And then came the first twist of the night. A mysterious anonymous post hit social media, claiming to have exclusive court documents that would clear Boosie's name, expose a secret rival in the rap industry. The post included a single cryptic line: "Check your inner circle before you check the judge." Within minutes, Boosie's fan base was split down the middle. Some believed a rival rapper had orchestrated the entire case. Others insisted Charleston White was pulling strings for attention. Theories multiplied like wildfire at the same time. Charleston's livestream numbers climbed past 150,000. "Oh, now they mad at me," he laughed. "Don't be mad at Charleston for telling the truth. Be mad at the man who couldn't keep his own house clean." Lexi leaned forward, sensing opportunity. "You think somebody close to Boosie really set him up?" "I know it," Charleston said, flashing a grin. "And if y'all keep watching, I might just tell you who." Night stretched on like an endless bass line, and the Baton Rouge air felt electric. Inside Boosie's mansion, a storm of voices rattled the walls. Cousins, old friends, and hanger-ons crowded the living room. Phones buzzing as the anonymous Inner Circle post went viral. Miss Connie stood in the center, clutching a worn Bible, her voice trembling. "Y'all need to stop this fussin' and pray. That boy's life is on the line." No one listened. "Terrence," shouted Boosie's younger brother TQ, pointing a tattooed finger across the room. That post sound just like something you'd pull. Terrence, wearing a designer hoodie and a crooked grin, raised his hands in mock innocence. "Man, you always think it's me. Why would I sell out my own blood? Because you love money more than family." TQ snapped. "You've been mad since Boosie cut you off the last tour." The room erupted, shots, curses, the scrape of chairs. Miss Connie's Bible slipped from her hands and hit the floor with a dull thud. Before anyone could pick it up, the mansion's massive flat screen lit up with a live stream notification. "Charleston White is live. The Rat revealed." Live. The Rat revealed. Charleston's face filled the screen, glowing with the smug delight of a man who knew he had the world's attention. "Good evening, Internet. I told y'all I'd bring receipts, and tonight's the night. But first," he paused, letting suspense drip like syrup. "Let's talk about loyalty. See, loyalty's a funny thing. Folks swear they ride or die until the money talks." The chat exploded. "Who is I? Name the rat. Don't play with us. Charleston." Charleston leaned closer, his voice a low growl. "The one who flipped on Boosie, closer than a shadow. Somebody who's been eaten off Boosie's plate for years. And I got the proof." Lexi, his co-host, looked half terrified, half thrilled. "Charleston, are you saying a family member?" "I ain't saying. I'm showing," he cut in, holding up a blurred screenshot of a text thread. Only a few words were legible. "DA ready. Payment cleared." Fans lost their minds. Theories spread faster than wildfire in August heat. Within minutes, Terrence's name trended alongside Boosie's. Back at the mansion, Terrence's phone lit up like a Christmas tree. Missed calls, angry "Man, this is crazy," he muttered, but his eyes flickered with something more than fear. Was it guilt, or just the dread of being caught in Charleston's hurricane of clout? Boosie's best friend D stepped forward, fists clenched. "Tell us right now. T, did you talk to the D?" Terrence laughed nervously. "Y'all really trust some internet clown over your own kin." But Boosie, calling in from the holding facility, silenced the room through speakerphone. His voice carried a quiet intensity that made even the loudest cousin shut up. "Terrence," he said, each syllable sharp as a snare hit. "Look me in the eye. Did you sell me out?" Everyone turned to Terrence. Sweat beaded on his forehead. "Man, I ain't gotta answer that." The line went dead. Boosie had heard enough. While the family fractured, Charleston doubled down. "See, That's the problem with y'all street cats. He preached to his 200,000 live viewers. You think loyalty is automatic? Nah. Loyalty's a rental. You stop paying attention. Somebody else moves in. Lexi covered her mouth. Half gasp, half giggle. Charleston, they're saying you're ruining lives. He smirked. I don't ruin lives. I expose lies. Big difference. Fans spammed the chat with fire emoji. Donations poured in. Charleston's livestream was now the biggest show on the internet. Meanwhile, Dee wasn't content to sit and watch the family implode. He jumped into his car, determined to confront Charleston-faced Kendra, riding shotgun, tried to reason with him. You really gonna show up at that man's studio? That's exactly what he wants, more drama. Dee gripped the steering wheel tighter. I don't care. He playing with Boosie's name. Somebody gotta check him. The next morning, Baton Rouge awoke to another shocker. A leaked voicemail allegedly from a prosecutor promising special consideration to an unnamed witness. News outlets scrambled to verify it, but fans were already convinced. The narrative shifted. Maybe Boosie had been set up. Maybe the whole trial was a trap. Outside the courthouse, protesters waved signs reading "Justice for Boosie" and "Stop the setup." Reporters fought for sound bites, while rumors swirled that a retrial might already be in motion. Inside the holding facility, Boosie kept his composure, but his mind raced. He replayed every conversation of the past year, every handshake and late-night call, searching for the leak. The memory of Terrence whispering to that reporter haunted him like a beat he couldn't drop. His attorney arrived with cautious optimism. The leaked voicemail is a game-changer. If we prove misconduct, we can push for a new hearing. Boosie nodded slowly. Do it. And find out who that witness is. I want the truth no matter what it costs. Far away, Charleston celebrated his own victory. Sponsorship offers flooded his inbox. Late-night shows wanted interviews. Yet even he seemed surprised when an anonymous email arrived during his broadcast. He opened it live, eyes widening as he read. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, voice trembling just enough to keep the chat on edge. Seems like we got a twist I didn't see coming. Turns out, the DA's office might have played dirtier than Boosie himself. And the name attached to this leak, let's just say it ain't who y'all think. He held the suspense, sipping from a mug like a villain in a drama series. Y'all thought it was the cousin. Maybe not. Maybe the real snake is wearing a badge. The live stream exploded with speculation. Crooked cops. What? Drop the name. Charleston only grinned. Tune in tomorrow night. I'll spill it all. The fictional saga had morphed from a simple sentencing into a citywide fever dream. Fans camped outside the courthouse. Influencers flew in to chase content. And every radio station debated who the mysterious badge-wearing betrayer might be. Boosie's fate was suddenly bigger than one man. It was a question of power, loyalty, and whether justice itself could be trusted. Morning light washed over Baton Rouge, but it didn't cool the city's fever. Outside the courthouse, protest signs swayed like waves. Free Boosie, truth over tricks. Who's the badge rat? News choppers thumped overhead while live streamers hunted for the next viral clip. Inside a cramped studio on the other side of town, Charleston White adjusted his mic with theatrical flair. Good morning, Internet, he purred to a swelling audience. I promised y'all a name. And tonight, we going deeper than the cousin, deeper than the DA. Y'all ready? The chat window pulsed. Name him. Drop IT. We can't sleep. Before Charleston could continue, a commotion broke out behind the cameras. The door slammed open, and Dee stormed in, Kendra on his heels. Viewers caught every second as the feed wobbled and refocused. Man, you playin' with my brother's life, Dee barked, fists clenched. You out here clout-chassin', while Boosie sittin' in a cell. Charleston leaned back, unbothered. Dee, he said with a slow grin. Welcome to the show. You came to give us the inside scoop. I came to tell you to keep my brother's name out your mouth. Lexi, wide-eyed, whispered off mic. Are we still live? Of course we live, Charleston said, eyes never leaving Dee. Let the world see what loyalty looks like. Dee took a step closer. This ain't a game. Charleston smirked. Everything's a game, when the truth's the prize. The chat went ballistic. Caps lock screams, donation alerts, digital fire everywhere. Meanwhile, back at the holding facility, Boosie's attorney hurried into the visitation room, tablet in hand. You need to see this, he said, queuing up the light. Boosie watched in silence as his friend confronted the loudest voice on the internet. Miss Connie clasped her son's hand. Lord, keep that boy D from doing something foolish. Keep that boy D from doing something foolish. Boosie's jaw tightened, but his voice stayed calm. D got heart. Just hope he got sense. Back on the stream, Charleston raised a single eyebrow. So, D, you here to fight or to confess? 'Cause my email says somebody wearin' a badge been feedin' the DA dirt. Maybe you know something about that. D's eyes flashed. Only badge I know is the one gonna arrest you for running your mouth. Charleston laughed. A sharp bark that echoed off the studio walls. Boy, you funny, but you can't stop what's already moving. The streets wanna know who in law enforcement set this whole thing up. And guess what? I got the paperwork. He slid a folder across the desk with slow, deliberate drama. The camera zoomed in on a sealed envelope marked confidential.lex. I gasped. Is that? Charleston nodded. Tonight, I revealed the badge rat. Y'all ready? Before D could respond, Kendra tugged his arm. We're not giving him more clout, she whispered fiercely. Let's go. D hesitated, then backed toward the door, eyes never leaving Charleston. This ain't over. Charleston winked at the camera. Oh, it's just getting good. The internet exploded. Hashtags like #badge-rat and #CharlestonVSD trended worldwide. Conspiracy theories stacked like dominoes. Corrupt detectives, rival rappers on the payroll, secret federal stings. Some fans swore the badge rat was a childhood friend turned cop. Others claimed it was a high-ranking officer with a vendetta. News outlets scrambled to keep up. One late-night anchor summed it up best. This is no longer a trial. This is a cultural earthquake. At the mansion, Terrence sat alone, scrolling through the chaos. Every headline still painted him as the traitor, but a flicker of relief crossed his face when the crooked cop rumors surged. Maybe they'll forget about me, he muttered just as his phone buzzed. An unknown number, a single text, we need to talk. Tonight, the truth costs. Terrence's stomach flipped. Whoever it was, they knew something. Inside the holding facility, Boosie met again with his attorney. The voicemail leak is rattling the DA's office. The lawyer said, if we can prove misconduct, we could request an emergency hearing. Boosie nodded, but his mind was elsewhere. That badge rat, you believe it? The lawyer exhaled. Wouldn't surprise me. Politics and vendettas go hand in hand. Miss Connie squeezed her son's hand. God sees all. Baby, truth always finds the light. That night, Charleston returned for a record-breaking stream. Viewers from Tokyo to Toronto tuned in as he held the envelope aloft. Here it is, folks, he declared, milking every second. The name of the badge rat? Lexi leaned forward, voice trembling. Are we really doing this? Oh, we doing it, Charleston said, tearing the seal with a slow rip that sent shivers through the chat. He unfolded the paper, eyes scanning the page. Then he looked straight into the lens. The badge rat, he said, is none other than Officer Randall R.J. Johnson of the Baton Rouge PD. The chat exploded. No way, we need proof. Arrest him now. Charleston dropped another bomb. And guess what? This document says Officer Johnson had personal beef with Boosie for years. Old club incident. Revenge served cold. Lexi covered her mouth. That's insane. Charleston nodded. And it gets better. Sources claim Johnson promised immunity to a family member. Yep, our boy Terrence, if he helped. Double betrayal. The revelation rocked the city. Within hours, reporters camped outside the Baton Rouge Police Department. Officials issued a no comment, only fueling suspicion. Protest crowds doubled, chanting both Free Boosie and Fire Johnson. Terrence, meanwhile, paced his bedroom like a man on a cliff's edge. His phone buzzed again. Midnight, Old River Bridge. Alone, he swallowed hard. Whoever was pulling the strings wasn't done. Back in the holding facility, Boosie heard the news and simply closed his eyes. Knew it was deeper than family, he said quietly. But why'd Terrence play along? Miss Connie's tears returned. Lord, protect my babies. His lawyer leaned forward. This could blow the case wide open, but we need Terrence to talk and record. Boosie opened his eyes, cold and determined. Then we find him before somebody else does. Midnight draped Baton Rouge in a heavy hush. The kind that makes every cricket's chirp feel like a warning. At the Old River Bridge, Terrence stood alone, hoodie pulled tight. Heart pounding to a rhythm faster than any beat his cousin ever rapped. The moonlight caught the restless ripples of the water below as headlights appeared at the far end of the bridge. A black sedan rolled to a stop. Out stepped a tall figure in plainclothes face, half hidden by the brim of a baseball cap. Terrence recognized the walk before he saw the face. Officer Johnson, Terrence muttered. The man smirked, removing the cap. You know why I called you here? Terrence swallowed hard. Everybody knows now. Charleston, put your name out. The whole internet's coming for you. Johnson's smile didn't fade. Internet noise. What matters is keeping our deal quiet. You keep your mouth shut. You keep your freedom. Simple. Terrence shook his head. This ain't what I signed up for. You said Boosie would get probation, not 10 years. Johnson's eyes hardened. Plans change. And you still like breathing free air. The words hung like a threat. Terrence's phone buzzed in his pocket. A text from an unknown number. Leave now. Cameras on you. He glanced toward the tree line. Red dots blinked in the darkness. Surveillance drones. Looks like you ain't the only one watching, Terrence said. Stepping back. Johnson turned, scanning the shadows. But it was too late. Flashing lights bathed the bridge in blue and red. Unmarked cars screeched to a halt. State investigators emerged with badges raised. Randall Johnson. One barked, hands where we can see 'em. Johnson stiffened, jaw tight. This is a setup. Terrence backed away as agents swarmed. No, he said quietly. This is the truth. He said quietly. This is the truth. By dawn, every major network ran the footage. The disgraced officer cuffed on the bridge, face grim under the harsh lights. Rumors turned to confirmation. Johnson had indeed fabricated evidence, manipulating Terrence as a pawn in his vendetta against Boosie. The city erupted. Protesters danced in the streets, chanting justice, like a victory anthem. Inside the holding facility, Boosie's lawyer rushed in, eyes blazing with triumph. It's over, he said. The DA's office is collapsing under misconduct charges. We're filing an emergency motion to vacate your sentence. Miss Connie clapped her hands, tears of relief streaming. Thank you, Lord. I knew the truth would come. Boosie exhaled, the tension of weeks melting at last. What about Terrence? He's cooperating, the lawyer replied, testifying against Johnson. It's the nail in the coffin. Boosie nodded slowly. Family makes mistakes, but he came through. Meanwhile, Charleston White prepared for what would become the most watched livestream in his career. Ladies and gentlemen, he began, basking in the glow of over 500,000 viewers. We told the world. We dug up the dirt. And tonight, justice is catching up with the real villain. Lexi grinned beside him. You basically solved the case, Charleston. He laughed. Nah, I just shined the light. Darkness can't hide when the people pay attention. Donations and applause, emojis flooded the chat. Fans hailed him as part journalist, part folk hero. Even critics admitted his relentless noise forced the truth to the surface. But Charleston wasn't finished. Remember, y'all, loyalty ain't free, and the streets talk louder than any courtroom. Boosie, when you walk out those gates, remember who had your back. He winked at the camera. I expect an invite to the homecoming party. 2 days later, a judge officially vacated Boosie's sentence and ordered his immediate release. When the gates opened, fans lined the road, cameras flashing like strobe lights at a concert. Boosie stepped out in a crisp white shirt, a quiet smile playing across his face as Miss Connie threw her arms around him. Reporters shouted questions, but he spoke only once, voice steady and strong. I told y'all, I was innocent. Now let's get back to music. Terrence approached, eyes lowered. "'Cause, I'm sorry, I thought I was protecting the family." Boosie studied him for a long moment before pulling him into a hug. "We all make mistakes. Just don't let nobody use you again." The crowd erupted in cheers. Forgiveness, at least for now, had the final word. That night, Charleston livestreamed yet again, this time raising a glass of sweet tea. And there you have it. He told hundreds of thousands of viewers. Boosie free, badge rat behind bars, and the world reminded that truth always wins if you make enough noise. Lexi laughed. So what's next? Charleston grinned. Whatever drama the streets deliver, y'all know I'll be there first. The chat exploded with emojis, applause, and requests for more. Charleston leaned back, satisfied. The saga that began with a 10-year sentence had ended as a folk tale of betrayal, redemption, and the unstoppable power of an internet determined to find the truth. And just like that, this wild, purely fictional roller coaster reaches its final stop. From the thunderclap of that 10-year sentence to the midnight bridge showdown, we watched secrets unravel, families fracture, and a crooked badge crumble under the weight of the truth. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and the streets of Baton Rouge turned into a stage big enough for the whole world to watch. Think about it. A legend nearly lost to a lie, a cousin pulled between blood and betrayal, a rogue officer chasing revenge, and Charleston White live streaming, every twist with a grin that lit up half the internet. If this story proves anything, it's that loyalty can bend, justice can wobble, and sometimes the loudest voices online force the real villains into the light. But here's the thing, what would you have done if you were in their shoes? Could you forgive a cousin who almost cost you everything? Would you have kept streaming like Charleston, or stayed silent until the dust settled? And what about that final hug between Boosie and Terrence? Was it true reconciliation, or just the calm before another storm? This saga might be over in our imagined universe, but the conversation is just getting started. I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who surprised you most? Who played the game best? And who's really the hero here? Boosie for surviving, Terrence for coming clean, or Charleston White for forcing the truth into daylight? If you vibed with this dramatic ride, smash that like button, share it with your crew, and don't forget to subscribe for more outrageous, reality TV level storytelling where rap culture, rumors, and pure entertainment collide. Stay tuned, because the next story, you won't believe what's coming. Do not forget to hit subscribe, Shade Pod. Hit subscribe, Shade Pod.